Hello there, this is Signako from Signako.ukos.com, and this is...
I'm Zira from LiveWire at Guildomatic.com.
And I am Big B from LiveWire.Guildomatic.com.
Alright, and we're going to start off by reviewing a game called Teridal from Beyond.com. So let's get started. What is your view about the Teridal community, you two?
Well, basically, I feel that the community has changed over the past few years. It started off great, we had a lot of people helping instead of the trolling. But as the game's progressed and people have taken a negative turn towards some of the updates which Arco, the owner of Accusion Entertainment and Teridal, has brought us, it's definitely got a lot worse. But you got anything more to add to that?
I completely agree. I feel that in the older days, before all of these updates, everybody was completely willing to help each other, and now, since they don't really like the updates, they do bossing to get their gear, and then it turns into a chat program almost. All they want to do is talk and troll on each other instead of helping everybody else like it used to be.
Alright, what I see is that there's two halves to this community. There's the ones that want to help each other, they want to see the game succeed. And then the other half, they just want this game to die because, they want to be the best. So let's move on to the next category. What makes this game entertaining?
Me personally, when I play this game, I love the boss. Some of them are really well thought out, really get you challenging, you really got to do a lot. And I know that Arco's trying to put a lot of updates in to make us do more instead of sitting there and hitting the certain buttons we used to. He's trying to get us off our asses when we're trying to, kill the boss or doing PvP or anything like that. I personally used to love the skills, but I've maxed them a long time ago. That's the only downside I have about that. The skills make it fun, but we definitely need more of them now these days. I'll leave it a Big B just to say the rest.
My favorite part about the game is honestly PvP. It's changed a lot in the updates, and it's become a lot more balanced, and it takes more teamwork instead of more personal work. You have to do things as a team instead of by yourself. You need to actually think out the strategy. You can't just grab the orb and run back to your orb like it used to be.
I see that for me when I do play my character Aoshi, that the game is just so big. I love the bossing. I love that everybody has to work together, and I love how you craft and everything. And it just seems like a very unique game. Even though it's 2D, it is very, very well put together. Alright, let's move to the next category. Since Signako has not been active very much, what do you guys view about the lack of updates and information?
Well, that's why we put together LiveWire at Guildomatic.com. We've stepped in and basically written all the guides to the game, given the noobs, as much information as we can. Me personally, I don't like half-assing. Why half-ass a game? It's not, we play it constantly in and out. We subscribe to this game, which means those people who don't subscribe, we put cash into this game to help Arco produce it, and he's just a one-man army. He won't take no one into Accusion just to get help or anything like that. So we're seeing a failing at the moment. A lot of players are starting to stop playing. A lot of players are getting angry, and there's a lot more trolling because of it.
Personally, I don't mind the lack of updates. I'm kind of upset about the lack of knowledge, because I'd prefer one giant update so that everybody has something new to do, not just the higher levels have new bosses to kill. I want everybody to have something new to do. And it's just, I don't mind not having updates, because it gives all the players time to get gear, get it enchanted, and figure all the bosses out instead of LiveWire having to recruit everybody to teach them how to boss. It gives them the time they need to get it all and learn by themselves like the game's supposed to be.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that it's changed a lot. I mean, we've got LiveWire now, that's the one guild, but then again, the game it always drives down to one guild at the end. Like Town 12, which for you guys who don't play Teridal, is the highest castle out of the 12. and it's definitely not an easy job to take it, but there's always only one name on it for a certain amount of months at a time. The territory is always a certain guild. We need to pump new players, or at least get the ones we do have on the right track, to make it less of a one-sided game. Makes everything better for everybody.
As a Yakuza developer, the lack of information is mind-blowing. I come in one day and the game's totally different and nobody tells me anything, and even the owner does not. Well, not that we don't want to bash the game or anything, so let's move to the next one. How do you guys feel about the biggest PvP event that Teridal has, the Battlegrounds?
Personally, I don't think it's a rip of WoW like a lot of people think, mainly because the Battlegrounds were in before WoW. It's definitely got a lot better, you know, adding the PvP gear in instead of having to use our PvE gear. It definitely needs to have a lot of work done to it, but as it stands, it's a very good and a very fun game. I mean, I know that I've played 30 to 40 rounds in one night, just sitting there constantly playing. It's one of those things that if you're bored on a game and everyone joins, you know, it don't matter who it is. Like if you're a low level, you get a buff to bring you up to the same stats as someone like, I don't know, me, Zero, or Big B. We certainly have a lot of fun playing it.
I have to agree. PvP is one of the very few things that the higher levels have now, other than bossing, that they can do to entertain themselves. And it's a shame because the game has so much potential. And like you said, everybody compares it to WoW, when if you think about it, this game was released before WoW. And I know I'm straying a little bit off topic with this, but it's hard for one person to keep up with updates and new content as well as WoW would, just because they have an entire team doing it. But I mean, other than that, I love PvP. It gets a little unbalanced with the PvP gear personally, but even if you don't have the gear, you can still have a great time PvPing.
I even get into the arena myself, and I just sit there and PvP all day. And the biggest thing I love about it is the rewards for your hard-earned effort. You could sit there, even if you lose, you'll still get points. And you can get dungeon points to help you get better enchants for the next time, or you can get PvP gear.
What I do have to add though, just there a sec, is what Rob means, Big B guys, for you guys listening, is he means that he sucks at PvP. I gotta be honest, on a totally straight up level, he's terrible at PvP. If any of you want to join Teridal, give it a week and you'll have him dead in no time.
Alright, how about we stop straying off topic and keep to the podcast, please there, Zara?
Okay, let's go to the next topic. Bossing. What do you guys think about that?
It's gotten so tedious for me. I mean, you know, we do a lot of it. And half the bosses now we can't even do because again, the lack of players, because people just keep leaving because of, like we've discussed, the lack of information input into the game, the lack of updates we've seen recently. Like, bossing's certainly getting harder, which is making it better, and it's pushing us to gear new players. But one thing I will have to say is, Arco, if you're ever going to listen to this, you need to stop adding bosses. It is not going to fix the problem. The problem is that we're stuck now. We've had to go back to Rotten Caverns, which is RC for most of you guys, and do the same thing over and over again. And that, for me, is getting so tedious that I'm sure, Rob, I think I've killed us a few times on purpose in Rotten Caverns over event just to wind each other up, certainly.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I believe that bossing has gotten so tedious